I'm here with Karen MacNeil, and Karen and I have been friends for a very, very long time. And she's got a new project she's working on. And Karen, do you want to share with us what's going on with you?
Oh, I am so excited to share this with you, Gary. We've both watched the wine industry for a lot of decades now. And starting in January, I just had this feeling that there was so much negative narrative around wine. And it was really making me despondent because, like you, this is an industry that I love. I kept thinking, why isn't anybody telling sort of the positive story about wine? Well, to make a long story short, one morning walking the dog, I dreamed up this idea called Come Over October. And during the month of October, it's now a reality. We're asking everyone who loves wine to invite a friend, a colleague, a neighbor, a family member, simply to come over and share some wine. So it's a simple idea, but it's a very powerful idea. And actually, it is now so successful that the whole campaign has gone international.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Um, it's exciting, and I heard about it, and I said, A, I need to learn more, and B, because you were involved, to be honest, and Gino Colangelo, two of my favorite people, right, from di very different walks of life. I said we had to be involved, and that's why I reached out.
Yeah, the morning that I had this brainstorming idea, I thought either this is a pretty good idea or like it's a really dumb idea. So I called Gino Colangelo and I called Kimberly Charles because both of them are communications experts. And they both said, this is a pretty good idea. So the three of us have formed a small company called Come Together, a community for wine. We are donating all of our time to the campaign Come Over October. And it's now going to be an annual event. And I know at your stores, at Gary's, I know people will see signs like this, Come Over October, to just buy a few bottles and then invite some friends over to share wine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Gary, I mean, you have built your whole business life and much of your social life, I think, around wine. Why? I know. Why is wine important to you?
It's funny because you say business and social. Wine is important for many reasons, but the first I'm going to do the holistic one. It's part of the meal, right? I look at wine as not a separate beverage to be consumed by itself. Cocktails are great for that. Wine is a beverage to have with your meal, and I would never go a day without eating.
Yeah.
And so, since it's part of that meal, wine, to me, I see that as going hand in hand. But you said a couple things, sharing.
Mm.
I always joke. I did a charity wine dinner last night, and I brought some great wines from my cellar, as well as just some interesting food and wine pairings, because there were some great chefs that were involved. And we talked about sharing wine, and everybody that is into wine, they don't drink it themselves, right? I joke, sharing is caring. You open a great bottle of wine, or you want to open a great bottle of wine, you call your friends,
Yeah.
right? You include other people. I don't know anybody that shares shoes. Oh, I bought a great brand new pair of shoes. Come on over. Why don't you borrow it? Cars. People love cars. Same thing. Wine is for sharing.
Yeah.
That is the holistic approach. The reality, though, is over 60% of our business is wine.
Yeah.
And
I,
we employ over 150 people. So if wine goes away, our business goes away.
yeah.
So it's
You
very important that that doesn't happen.
Of course, absolutely, it's important. I think about the idea, and I'm sure that not just you and me, but everyone who drinks wine has this experience that you're with a stranger, someone you don't know, you share some wine, you are now that person's friend forever. I mean, wine has this unique ability to bring us together in goodwill, in happiness, in generosity. There's really no other beverage that does that.
Absolutely. And you're 100% right. You're at a restaurant and sitting at a bar waiting and having a glass of wine. You see what the person next to you is ordering. I went out with a friend a couple weeks ago, and we're at the corner of a beautiful little bar, and I asked the bartender, or whatever they're called, the mixologist, what do they have by the glass? And she said, "Oh, I have blah blah blah," and there were four wines. I said, "Okay, can I do one of each?" And she said, "A whole glass of each?" I said, "Well, we'll share." The person next to me said, "Oh my God, that's a great idea." Next thing I know, we're talking to there were like six of us now, all engaged in conversation about food, about wine, about relationships and stuff. And it really, it's very special. It makes a day go by. And it's also very enjoyable.
Yeah, and I mean, for Come Over October, for example, we're not talking about, the campaign is not about medical issues, but what we're talking about right now, this 8,000-year history of wine's social ability to bring people together of different ages. It doesn't matter if you're 23 or
Right.
63, to bring people together of different cultures. That has, in my mind, as a researcher, that has societal value. That's an important part of goodwill and generosity. And so I think it's time we celebrate that positive role that wine plays.
I couldn't agree more. I call it the great equalizer. When people find them in the wine business, it doesn't matter what they do, right? I had a doctor who you couldn't make an appointment with him. He was very booked. As soon as he found I was in the wine business, he gave me his private line, and he said, "When these wines come in, call me." And I called him, and I got through all the time. And my wife was like, "How can you get through to him? Nobody else can." As you know, I come to Napa a lot, and I bring people, CEOs of companies, are getting me a glass of wine because it's the great equalizer. It's really it's special in that way.
Yeah, it really is. So I've always wanted to ask you too. I know you're going off soon to Greece, but like what's your bucket list wine region? Where have you not yet been that you really want to go to?
Well, it's funny. It's an easy question, but a tough question. It's tough because there's so many places I've gone to that I want to go back. And there are surprisingly a handful of places that I've never been to, and I was thinking about, where do I want to go next? And shockingly, I've never been to the Rhone Valley.
That is surprising.
I've been to Bordeaux and Burgundy numerous times. I've been to Champagne and Provence also, for different Provence, I want to go more to relax and see what's going on there. But the Rhone Valley, because of its historic nature and the quality of the wines coming from there. So the Rhone Valley definitely is on my bucket list. Of course, I've just got back from Greece, so I've added that already. So where would you want to go? Where is there a place you haven't been?
Yeah, I've been to most wine regions in the world, including really remote regions in China, which was
Oh, I've
a
never
true
done that.
head trip. But I think I would like to go to the tip of South America. A lot of wine regions are emerging, places that used to be way too cold and now are cool. And it's I hear one of the most beautiful wine regions in the world and a place I've never been. So all those glacial lakes and Andes mountains and you're getting close to the Antarctic Sea. I mean, I can't even imagine it. So I think I'd like to go there.
I I, I was fortunate enough to go there.
Sure.
I was on a Wines of Chile trip,
Oh, fantastic.
and part of it was going to Patagonia, and
Right.
so we were on a ship seeing the glacier, drinking all of these Chilean varietals that we've never seen, that all these young winemakers are experimenting with down there that grow very well. So I would love to go with you. If you decide to go, I'll go back.
Okay. Well, you're always one step ahead of me, Gary. So
That's
I'm
rare.
surprised. I'm not surprised. And the other thing I love to ask people is what their, I know you love good food. What's their favorite food and wine pairing? Do you have one?
No, but I do. It's funny. I think of food and wine, and I have some great food and wine pairings that, you know, ad hoc fried chicken and champagne or
Ooh.
Riesling, but that's a great pairing that I enjoy. Oysters and Chablis, just crisp.
Mm.
But I am from New Jersey, so a good classic Chianti and a bowl of homemade pasta sauce. It's comfort, as much as the champagne, the oysters and stuff. It's all great and I love it. But just sitting down with a great bowl of pasta and tomato sauce, just with a simple, nice glass of Chianti, that beats all.
Oh my goodness, that sounds so good right now. And actually, interestingly enough, the Chianti Classico Consortium is one of the 100 companies or businesses supporting Come Over October. I
There
was
you
right there.
go.
Yeah, I was right there with you with fried chicken and champagne. For me, a kind of version of that, in a sense, is really super simple: potato chips and
Love
champagne.
that.
Yeah, crunch and bubbles. Mm,
Yeah,
too good to be true.
awesome.
So, Gary, it's been so fun talking with you. I hope to come and visit you this October. Can't wait to see what you might do. And we miss you out here in Napa.
Well, I miss being there, but I have a lot of fun things going on in New Jersey. And, we have our grand tasting in October, which we're going to obviously be promoting Come Over October very heavily. So it's going to be a great season. We look forward to seeing you on the East Coast, if not when I'm back to Napa Valley.
Okay, my friend.
All
Thank you.
right. Great to see you. Thank you very much.